the wonderful DrayZera the Awakening. We have the wonderful DrayZera the Awakened.
Zero 0045. The pain you had to endure. For 8 months, he tested your resolve. He made you exhausted. He made you fatigued. He made you lose your mind. Yet, when you held him on 0045, it was all worth it. Wriggling in full valor, sparkling in eternal bliss, that he can finally meet his mama and papa. For the first time, our beautiful son, Echo. Thank you. Wonderful. So my name is DrayZera, the Awakened. People may have remembered me as DrayZera, but it's been 2 years since I last performed, and I feel quite awakened. So I thought I'd change my name up a little bit because, you know, well, why not?
All right.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in 2016, I wrote this poem called Care Cut. And essentially, to cut a long story short, I used to be in the care industry. And so I spoke about what I'm about to say way back in the 2014 budget outlined by the Conservative Party. And so, this is Care Cut. Life support is gone. Imagine saying that to a loved one who desperately desire their parent, child, or best friend breathing once again. Nurses, support workers, care companies are doing their best, but they're forever bereft of breast austerity and absurd complexity of government cuts. Cut funding for more hospital beds, cut allowances for care packages instead, and while they harp on and on like a broken record without discord, they say, we need to save our NHS, it's great for heaven's sake. Well mate, let me bellow from the broken cello that services are in disarray, down to their bone graves if nothing gets shifted from the so-called intelligent cabinet. Hospitals are shutting, community centres closing, staff stretched and surviving on scraps of lightning because lightning, like lives, never strike twice. Treat care like data and numbers may not affect you personally with your congenial expenses, yet statistics, specifics and logistics are not supporting the masses that need love, 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 love. The support and love before their loved one ends their life, all without care, so numb. Thank you. And so, I actually have a sort of follow-up to that I wrote very recently. 7 years time. Now all that we know, you know. I wrote this. I wrote Care Cut before Brexit happened. That's how long ago it was. That's how long ago it felt as well. So this poem is called Private Death Care. If you have the cash, you'll get care. If you don't have the cash, don't get sick. If you have it all, take your time to recover. If you don't have anything, work until you drop dead. If you know the right people, you're on the fast track. If you know nobody, your train is derailed. If you've done wrong but in power, blind eyes are turned. If you've done right but powerless, then shame on you. If you want division, you'd want private death care. If you want fair for all, you'd want equal health care. The choice between life or death should never be based between your bank balance or being overdrawn. Cash or die. Thank you. And so, to give context, since my last performance, when I had my hiatus from 2021, a lot of things have happened to me. So, for starters, I'm now engaged to a beautiful fiancée named Gillian, or Jill, because she hates being called Gillian. I have a son, as what the first poem is all about, Echo, born in 0045. Woohoo! And of course, shout out to Sophie, expecting your third. Is that third? Third or?
Yeah, well, in the family, yes.
Yes! Just your a newest addition to your family. Yes. And yeah, I could drive a car since last year.
Very good.
Overall, I did 3 attempts of my driving, and I failed first time in 2008. And I didn't do one again until late 2021. So shows how brave I am. And yeah, work full time in the wonderful world of security, and also interesting to note, I'm also a local candidate on the ballot paper for the local elections in my local constituency of Bury St Edmunds in the Morton Hall ward for the Labour Party.
Wow, very good.
And also for the Town and District Council as well on May the 4th.
Yes.
So of course, even though this is not the Bury St Edmunds constituency, feel free, do not forget to vote. Also, if you've got postal votes, don't forget to sign them too, because if you need ID, then if you don't, well, if you need ID, then you got postal votes to sort it out for you. So yes, so with that said, this is The Happiest Showman. Let me tell you something. I used to be known as DrayZera, but now I am known as DrayZera, the Awakened. I sound a bit pretentious, don't I? My eyes are open wide because while my journey is not complete, I don't need to be on stage to validate my worth to my existence. Once upon a time, I needed the stage as a nuclear drug, needing hit after hit after hit of performing my words in front of all of you. I used performance as an escape from reality, but now my real world makes me feel the happiest showman. I'm a father to the most beautiful soul on earth. I'm a fiancé to the most sweetest partner in my life. I'm a lover to the most incredible people in this world. You, the audience. Since 2016, I began this poetic venture. In 2021, I thought I'd close the book for good for pastures new. This is new to me. New that I'm performing no longer out of praise and glory. I am performing out of love and infinite joy. Thank you.
Very good.
So with that said, I think as a result of that, I needed a reset button. So in a great way to link up to the next poem, this next poem is called Reset Button. Seeing my soul in the mirror, I ask myself, am I the same or have I changed? Am I sane or deranged? Am I the saint or still the sinner? The answer is still being me and who I still am. Yet I had to hit the reset button in order to be free. Descending to lifelessness, falling in obscurity, dragging to misery, tears of sadness. Descending to lifelessness, falling in obscurity, dragging to misery, tears of sadness as I hit the reset button in order to be free. Striving to do better, no matter the weather. I must recalibrate, avoid needless mistakes. Growing up on my own terms as shackles are burned, no longer held back, ready to attack. The reset button is done in order to be free. Descending to lifelessness, falling to obscurity, dragging to misery, tears of sadness. Descending to lifelessness, fall to obscurity, dragging to misery, tears of sadness as I hit the reset button in order to be free. So I ask myself, am I the same or have I changed? Am I sane or deranged? Am I the saint or still the sinner? The answer is, I strive myself to lift the height of my ceiling, for my being has no limits. This museum exhibit will continue to have more tales, for I'm not a relic. I ain't going back, so forget it. Forward I march to battle forth in my own hands. I have hit the reset button, not only in order to be free, but to be me, striking the vengeance and vitriol of the past, burning the hate and heathen soul in the mirror. My soul is purified. It's time to burst into life. Thank you. So, I have got 3 more poems for you, and this next poem is one of Ron Gray's personal favourites, he told me. Bless his soul. So, for full disclosure, for all those that don't know, me and Ron, I like to think Ron was kind of one of my mentors in poetry, because Ron was the first person that gave me a non-festival headline feature slot way back in the Draper's Arms in 2016. He was the first feature in August 2016. And this poem was part of that set, and he loved it when he let me stay around his, and here we go. Frozen Socket is a poem about mental health. These vaults no longer connect the synapse, shutting down due to overheating relapse. Over and over, the cooling fan stutters as rotary cycle. Stoma to coma, frequencies of these voices envelops new rivals. Cavalier trotting mightily through the valley and the hills, until I spill upon my fearing chills, collapsing and shattering the one shimmering chandelier. This is how it feels to be a frozen socket. Your emotional locket busted, your physical self mistrusted, staples pinning you down loosely on second-hand paper to which no one helps you as you bleed profusely. Perhaps that's metaphorical, but the theological, methodological mindset of the Mass seems to treat mental health like an afterthought. What's happened to support? What catalyzes this abhor act to not olive branch with supportive rope to give them hope? But no, we say no as a gurgle on prosthetic bar soap as they smoke your futures away. I hope you choke. This is not a poetic verse to divide. Rather, we reside and hide away from love as they're filtered by the ashtray. So don't dismay and come out to play. This, though, is not a game. So let us all plug and tighten the earth wires to neutral, so we're in full snug, in full connection. Thank you. So, I have got 2 poems left. And this is a recent poem I've written called Reach the Sky. So it's a bit more uplifting than the last one. I thought I'd mix it up a bit because, I don't want everyone like miserable at the end of my sets. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Reach the sky. Rise up. Ease to the light. A lot of light here, to be fair. That's pretty good. Act on it. Catch shimmering rays. High and lavish goodness. Today's the day. Hawking happiness. Enter peace and solace. Stars at night. Kindred and spirited. Yell! At your loudest, reach the sky. Thank you. I didn't want to yell too loud because I don't know what the noise pollution rules are around here, so I just wanted to be, I don't want to get this place in trouble, So, this last poem is called Performance 200. And for full disclosure, I really burned myself out between 2016 and 2018. I performed around about 200 times plus, and I think to myself, man, no wonder I had no relationship really at that time, because people would my partner would have dumped me if I'm like, do you want to hang out tonight? No, I've got to go to a gig. Anyway, so this is Performance 200, and thank you very much, guys. My name is DrayZera the Awakened. Thank you very much for having me, and here we are, Performance 200. So here we are, made it past 200 performances, traveling thousands of miles, meeting all of you, beautiful faces. Rest in peace, Ron Gray, that gave me my first feature. Rest assured that your legacy will not be forgotten. Thank you to Terry Gilbert Fellows for making Broken Circuit Board. That's my book, by the way, but I'm not selling it, so don't worry about that. A dream come true. The reality of my debut book to print happened because of you and Melissa A. Joy for paving the way. Many hours of ripping up page upon page, and despite the rage of writer's block, we've all been there. To beat the clock in deadlines to make life as streamlined as possible, this performing adventure will continue forevermore. In my 30s, 40s, and years beyond, the flame is still within me. The Kasai is still burning. To all those in the Moonlight Army, Those are DrayZera fans, by the way, just to give context. Right? DrayZera is here, now and forever. So I shall say, Zera later. Thank you! Woo!